Hello everyone. So again we meet at this chance to having a group discussion again. Okay, first of all, let me introduce to our member. Since today I in chance of being this discussion moderator. There is Fiona, Ilham, Ninda and Farah. We had lots of things that we should to discuss today about asking and giving opinion for several topics. Okay, have you guys watching a horror movie title of Quiet Place 2?
Yes, I have watched it a day after it was released in Indonesia.
I have not watched that movie since I kinda dislike a horror movie.
I see. What do you think about that movie, Farah?
It's quite boring and I can't grasp how is the ending when I was watching the movie.
Do you agree Korean horror movie mostly are disgusting rather than scary?
Literally, I'm not agree. I would like to say that there is subgenre of horror like gore or extra, and if the film was really disgusting to watch, maybe what you have seen is a gore movie which usually contains some disgusting like blood instead of ghosts.
Could agree more with Ilham's opinion about there were some genre of horror movie.
For me, not all kind of horror movie was disgusting. Yes, I have same idea with Ilham. There were kind of gore movie that usually contain disgusting things such as blood, murder, or even suicide.
Okay, I get the point. Anyway, do you usually watch movie?
Of course, I do.
Right then, what's your preference? Do you like a longer duration movie or you just enjoy to watch a short movie?
I have to say that I really enjoy it all as the movie's plot was interesting.
For me, I prefer to watch a long duration movie.
It is only my view, or you have the same opinion that films over 2.5 hours long are always slow and boring.
Nope. I think as long as the producer and the scriptwriter design the film well as superior, but I think how long the movie won't come problem.
Yes, I agree. I also even watched a very long duration movie. The title was Endgame by Marvel Studio. It has a 3 hours more length, but I really enjoy it. It was not boring at all.
For me, it depends how what the story's plot went. Like what Ilham have said before, not all films will be boring. Maybe for some movie with an easy quest ending. 2 hour leg will be bored, yet if it has a great story, plot people of the viewer may feel the too late duration is filed really fast.
Okay then, all that I can conclude from this topic, it is depends the movie itself and it is had an interesting plot or plot. And also for the first topic, there is a subgenre of horror. It is horror movie which usually containing disgusting things. So we had discuss about movie. Let us move into the second topic. It is about media. Can you guys tell me where usually you got the news?
I usually read a news through the internet whereby I can access every site that offer I new news.
For me, I usually know a news by watching TV. How about you, Fiona?
Same with Ilham. I was looking for a news shock the internet.
Okay, then you guys have different sorts when getting a new news. Then, do you guys believe that most of what the media produce nowadays is unbelievable? Somehow, like the journalists just make up the story, increasing of rating of its sites. We cannot prove the truth.
I have to say that maybe some of news were made by journalists aiming or entertaining only so they were making up the stories yet there is still a news a news that we can believe that this true and we can prove the truth.
No, I think what media's over is a totally a fictional case. Somehow like they creating the news just for increasing the rating of the sites or maybe just they want to be viral.
I do not agree with your opinion, Farah. Like what Ilham said before, there is still a news that we can prove the truth, even if it's only a few, but there still a news that we can believe.
What about news that deliberately made to differ a case?
Yes, but it's not if still the right news on media.
I don't know, perhaps there is still.
Yes, there is.
So then, do you agree that they only show bad news on TV, never good news?
Nope, I don't agree with that statement because when the number of COVID 19 lost research, the media still broadcasts these things right. It's not the good news.
Right. At some point, I think I agree that media is always show a bad news rather than a good news because basically no one, no one wants to hear about airplanes that took off landed safely today. They want to know about the one that crashed. The news is all about the out of the ordinary events, and most of those are negatives, like mass shootings, terrorist attack, wars, feminism, or etc.
But there are also positive stories in the news all the time, like Neil Armstrong walking on the moon or Michael Jordan winning the MVP in NBA Finals.
Okay, then talking about media, there's too much unacceptable clothes and violence on TV early in the evening with when young children are still watching. Do you guys agree?
Which is basically in Indonesia is country where something like a clothes is still a matter of a great concern because if someone wears that tight and short clothes, some people might think that it's normal. However, for some people that will be the subject of gossip or issue, then thus I did not agree that there's a lot of uncapable clothes on TV because for me that is normal.
So, a lady, a woman who only wore a miniskirt dancing in an ad and there's a children watch. It is a normal thing.
Of course, no.
Yep. In my opinion, KPI has been doing its job to censor some things that might not unacceptable for kids. But sometimes KPI was too much censor things that something was unnecessary.
I agree that there were some unacceptable clothes and violence on TV these days, and children watch it without the guardians of their parents.
And then, what do you think about that? What KPI should do to avoid children watch things that actually they were not allowed to watch?
Like what I have said before, KPI has been doing a job very well, but the role of parents to choose what their children watch is also needed.
Okay, things that I can conclude from this topic is okay, things that I can conclude from this topic is KBI has been doing its job to censor some things that we might that might not unacceptable for kids. Yet sometimes KBI was too much censor things that was unnecessary. Okay, then do you guys still watch a cartoon lately?
Of course, yes. I prefer to watch cartoon or news rather than a drama.
Then do you guys agree that watching cartoon is a sign of childish adult?
That's not true, and I completely disagree because people should be able to watch whatever they want to watch. It's wrong to think that adults are immature for liking cartoon when adults.
Yes, I agree. Besides, there were also advantage of watching cartoon, and one of them is releasing stress.
In my opinion, obviously this statement is completely not true. I have many friends who enjoy anime and I personally savor animated movie as well as like Frozen, but because of product and media introduced to children and adult adults and teens tend to look down upon or turn away from anything animated. They take realistic to mean grown up and animated to mean childish. Childish.
Okay, then in conclusion, all of you doesn't agree that watching cartoon is not the sign of immature. Then move to another topic. Do you guys know that newspaper and TV stations cover trivial stories because that is what the public is interested in.
I know that, but since we had dwell in Indonesia, whereby a society is leaking things that going viral, so yes, newspaper and TV station cover travel stories because that it was the public is interested in.
Yes, that's true.
And the last topic is about media again. Do you guys believe that media in our country were controlled by a people in behind so they could cover things and make people doesn't know what exactly happened?
I totally agree that there is a people who had a hook dominance in behind of media that controlled all things that sold appear in media. So maybe they had made up the story.
Yes, I have said it before.
Then, what do you think about the media is in the hand of too few people in my country?
Like, like what Fiona has said, and I agree with her opinions. There were a wide hand on the media in our country and covered some trivial issues so that people cannot understand what things are happening in our country.
Or even they have making up a story. I'd like to say that the use which was appeared in the media media is fabricated, or even it is a story that have been made up by people behind the media, so that society do not know what really happened because the issue has been shifted.
Okay, the conclusions of our last topic in our discussion is there is the people who had a hard dominance in behind of media that control all things that should and shouldn't appear in media. The news which was appeared in the media is fabricated to even it is story that have been made up by people behind the media so that society do not know what really happened because the issue has been shifted. The last from our group discussion, last I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.